Welcome po to Lira in Law. And thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat, mga kababayan at of course mga kaibigan, no? Thank you again, no, for joining me. Ang pangalan ko po Lira Simong Kabatbat. I am a solicitor in the United Kingdom. My practice, Douglas Simon Solicitors, is in London, England, and it's we're just at the end of the district line. So come and see us if you need any help. We do this every Thursday, and as usual, we have a lot to get through tonight. But thank you again, as I say, for joining me. No, I am for those of you who are newly joining us, abogado po ako dito. I am a practicing solicitor. I have been qualified, so post-qualification experience of 33 years. Yep, you did not hear it wrong. 33 years, so over 3 decades of legal experience, that is post-qualification experience. Kung dadagdag ko yung pag-aaral ko and the training, then I am not quite, but nearly 4 decades, nearly 40 years in law. My gosh, it's a long time. Where has time gone? Bilis, no? And my firm, of course, has been established for 28 years. Yeah, 28 years na kami. So not quite as old as me, but nearly 3 decades nga. So we've been around a long time, and I hope nga that my experience and knowledge will be of assistance to you. So again, thank you very much for joining me. Ang topic po natin, it never ceases to amaze me, the questions that you put forward. And clearly also nanonood kayo because it follows through from our topic the week before and actually the week before that. So it's great because it's clearly the purpose of our broadcast is to try and see if at least I can help a little bit, point you in hopefully the right direction, maybe even answering some questions. Nothing beats, of course, going to see a specific legal advice. So, and certainly, kung ano man problema nyo, be it small or big, nothing beats making an appointment making sure that you seek independent legal advice. But for the moment, you have me, and I hope that you can stay with me for the length of time, no? Now, our topic tonight is immigration, children, and marriage breakdown. Now, last week, ang pinag-usapan nga natin, immigration, marriage breakdown. Okay? And I've actually posted on our Facebook an article that I wrote to do with immigration and marriage breakdown. Possible options kung yung nga ang problema nyo. But one of our viewers posed a question. And to be frank, I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. It follows through. But had they not posted the question, I wouldn't even have thought about it. But it's to do, of course, with children, because not all marriage breakdowns and immigration is just a question of the couple. But sometimes, and in many ways, it makes it more difficult, may mga bata. So, ang topic po natin ngayon is immigration, children, and marriage breakdown. No? Now, let me just read to you the question. It's our question natin. And so thank you very much talaga for posting this question because it's great. It's very relevant. It's very practical no? And it's a 2-in-1 question. I'll tell you. You'll see what I mean in a moment, okay? So, itong question po niya. This is our star question So, sabi niya, I'm a Filipino, no? And I've been living in the UK for 6 years on a spouse visa. My British wife and I are now going through a divorce, and we have a 4-year-old son who was born here and holds British citizenship. I'm really worried. My visa is set to expire soon, and my wife has said she might go for full custody and limit my time with my son. I want to know, so this is the 2-for-1, no? Una nga, sabi niya, do I have any right to stay in the UK after the divorce? And number 2, what legal options do I have to stay involved in my son's life, even if my wife tries to keep him from me. This scenario actually is one that is not uncommon, unfortunately. And also, in fact, I have a couple of cases, or more than that, going on where these facts are actually involved. So you're looking at hindi nga lang immigration, but also you're looking at family law. So this is what I mean by two in one. So this is a great question because as I say, it's practical. It's very relevant because it certainly happens to an awful lot of people, and it deals with the two areas in law that often go hand in hand, and that is immigration and family law. And so we're going to actually deal with both. So we're going to look at what rights would this viewer have? Yung kaibigan nga natin nagtatanong nga, what potential options does he have? And in relation to that, what do you do with regard to the child? What application can he make? Given his limited immigration issues or status, and his immigration issues how's that going to impact, say, an application to ensure that he sees the child, continues to see the child when he's 4 years old. So yun ang po usapan po natin. So there are lots there to unpack. Pero hindi lang yun, ha? We're also going to be dealing with other questions nga. We're looking at, again, spousal route nga, where there no children, options nga available, looking also at skilled worker route and dependence nga. So an awful lot of a lot of really good, interesting questions. And salamat po for tuning in, for staying tuned in and actually following us, because you're asking, as I say, questions that's very relevant, to immigration and also in this case family law. So it's going to prove to be another interesting night, at saka kung meron kayong mga tanong, nanonood kayo ngayon, tapos nahihiya nga kayo, baka huwag kayo mahiya, it's just between us. Post your comments, but certainly kung meron mga questions, post your questions now. It's not too late, and I'll try and see about of course reading it, and hopefully I can be of some help. So yun ang topic nga natin. Last week's topic actually, which is immigration and marriage breakdown, garnered a lot of views. So it's clearly one that concerns a lot of people. Pagka mamaya nga, if you're able to join us and you see nga that it's relevant, maybe not to you, but meron kayong mga kaibigan o may kamag-anak nga kayo who may benefit from the broadcast, pasa nyo, sharing is caring, diba? Now, so we're going to take a quick break, saglit nga lang po, and then we're going to launch into our topic very shortly. Come back soon. Welcome back to Lira in Law. I am your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors, practicing solicitor, I should say, for over 3 decades, but involved in law for nearly 4 decades. I know. I'm getting on a bit, no? My firm is called Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are a firm in London, Richmond, which is the end of the district line nga. So come and see us sometime. Now, thank you very much again for joining me. Ang topic po natin nga ngayon, immigration, children, and marriage breakdown. And that stems nga from our star question, which is ang question nga niya, right to stay after divorce, no? And what are the legal options nga available or that he can invoke in order to be able to stay in his son's life. He's only 4, no? If his wife tries to keep him away from him nga, yung tatay nga. Now, so let's look at those. So unang-una nga, let's look at the immigration. Question nga niya, una, does he have any right to stay in the UK after divorce? Now, una po, what counts for immigration for the Home Office nga is not the divorce itself, but the living or the relationship, the living together, if you like. Kung wala na nga kayo, kahit hindi pa rin kayo divorce, it means that the relationship has broken down. And strictly speaking, that means that yung status mo, which is spouse visa, is already, if you like, falls with it. No? So the divorce, whenever that's granted, that does not trigger, if you like, a break in your immigration. Of course, it is evidence that the relationship has completely broken down, is gone because you're divorced. Hindi kayo nagsasama, hindi na kayo kasal. No? But really, what they look at is nagsasama pa ba kayo? Kung hindi na kayo nagsasama, o kahit isang bahay nga lang kayo, pero wala na kayong relasyon, no? Then it could be that the Home Office, it's very likely that the Home Office will say, in that case, the relationship is finished. No? Now, do you have any right to stay after the divorce? Yes, potentially. So I'll look at that. But una-una ito, the viewer posed question, sabi niya, he's been living in the UK for 6 years on a spouse visa. Now, I just wonder why it's 6 years. Dahil nga, spouse visa, let's just look at spouse visa nga, no? Spouse visa generally, if it's, say, granted from, sabihin natin, you were in the Philippines, you come into the country as a spouse, or indeed, nandito ka, sabihin natin, estudyante ka nga dito, and then you change it over to a spouse visa. Spouse visa, normally after 5 years, no? So 2 lots of 2.5 years, allows you then to apply for indefinite leave to remain. So sabi mo sa akin, 6 years ka na dito on a spouse visa. So something clearly is slightly out of the usual nga. Sometimes people can't apply or don't apply for a spouse visa for indefinite leave to remain to change over their spouse visa because they haven't passed the life in the UK test, for example. No? Alam nyo naman, if you're making an application in the main for indefinite leave to remain, so settlement status, kailangan pakita the 2 things, that is that you have achieved English language at a minimum B1 level, no? Which is actually quite a high level, and also the life in the UK test. No? So those, it's just wonder why it is that until now, 6 years ka na on a spouse visa, hindi pa. So it could be that, no? I have some clients where that's the case. They applied for extension rather than for indefinite. Then hindi pa nga sila pumapasa ng life in the UK test. It could also be na nandito ka nga on something else before, tapos pinalitan mo to spouse visa. No? But I just wonder why it is that you're on 6 years spouse, because normally after 5 years or just before 5 years, you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. Anyway, so I just put that out there because it's slightly unusual nga. Now, as to options available after divorce, actually, as I say, it's not what they look at is not the divorce, but the end of the relationship. And sabi mo nga dito, no, siguro hindi na kayo nagsasama, o hiwalay na kayo, o kahit isang bahay nga lang, but wala na kayong relasyon. No? The Home Office will likely say, well, the divorce is neither here nor there. Tapos you're no longer together, and therefore that visa is effectively ended nga. Now, what are the options available to you? May anak kayo, no? May anak ka. So you can you can apply, and I'll discuss this a little bit more in relation to family law, but you can make an application nga as a parent under the parent route. So mangyayari nga, rather than applying for indefinite leave to remain, or indeed for a spouse visa again, no, you swap it over, the spouse visa that you have, to that of a parent. No? Now, there are a number of conditions, one of which is you need to be able to show that you are involved in your child's life. And that's why your second question is actually very relevant. No? Anong kailangan mong gawin? Sabihin ng asawa mo, no, I don't want you to see your son. No? It happens, unfortunately. So, if you're able to swap it, no? So, ibig sabihin, you make an application under the parent route. Now, that application, if you're swapping over a spouse visa to the parent route, that will not be for indefinite leave to remain. It will be for an extension, but a variation also. Papalitan mo yung status mo from that of a spouse to that of a parent. Kung yan makuha mo, then you will be granted a visa for 2.5 years. No, again, during that time, similar situation as a spouse. Pwede kang magtrabaho dito, pwede kang lumabas, pwede kang pumasok. You should not get money from the government. You can otherwise, kung gusto mong magnegosyo, hindi yung problema. Kung gusto mong mag-aral, hindi nga din yung problema. So, or you can have a mix of all of them. No? So you can swap it over to the parent route. But under the parent route, the main thing nga ang kailangan makita is that you are involved in your child's life. And you need to prove that. And how do you prove it? Then normally, well, actually not normally, but what the best proof is really something from your wife to say, hindi na kami nagsasama, wala na siyang pakialam sa akin on a relationship basis, and vice versa, but he continues to be involved in our child's life. And I'm happy for that to continue. I think it is beneficial to the child, and for that reason, I'm in support of his application to swap over, his status to that under the parent route. I don't think you're gonna get it here. Dahil sabi mo nga dito, she's already saying she's looking to potentially apply for full custody, as you put it, of your son, and to limit, if not take away, any contact you may have with your child now, which would be very sad, but it happens. Now, kung yun, then of course that will be potentially a problem, because how are you going to prove that you're actually involved in your child's life? Which leads me then to the next issue. Your next question is, what legal options are there to stay involved in your son's life? He's only 4. If your wife tries to keep him away from you. Now, you can make an application. So this is a separate thing from immigration. The application papasok mo is under family law. I'll go through what the most common applications are, okay, and then we can have a look at how best to apply that to you. So there's something called so sabi mo custody. Custody was certainly a term before, but that's no longer a legal term that they use. So rather than custody, so there was custody, tapos they referred to it as residence order. Now it's really a child arrangement order, a live-with order. Who's the child going to live with? So a child arrangement order is really for the court to say saan siya titira, or who is he gonna live with, and who is he going to have contact with, like ikaw, yung anak mo. So maybe you see him on a weekend, every weekend of he's 4 years old, maybe you pick him up. So who's the child gonna spend time with, and who's he going to live with, for example, sa ex mo ba o sa iyo ba? And also, and this is something perhaps more common with dads, the moms. You automatically assume that the child stays with the mother, and for a big part of the time, that's the case. Big part of cases nga, but not always. No? So do not make that assumption na, well, okay, yung bata matitira sa nanay. Kung pareho kayo nagtatrabaho and you are also equally able to look after your child, then there's no reason why he should not live with you. No? So I'm just saying, don't take it as a automatic, which is what a lot of people do, that the child will go to mom. Is 4 now. It could be that's best for him to live with mom, but it could be not. So don't make that assumption. No? Now, so that's child arrangement order. Now, you can also make an application for what's called a specific issue order. These are orders that gives instructions about a specific issues, exactly that, no? So, so for example nga, sabihin natin, okay, he's 4 years old now, pero kung gusto mong pumunta siya dito sa isang eskwela, ayaw ng asawa mo, for whatever reason you're having a disagreement about it, then you can make an application for a specific issue order. So an order that says you want your child to go to this school, for example. And of course, kailangan mong dahilan. You can't simply put it there without a reasonable reason, not why. And then there's also what's called a prohibited steps order. So that's an order usually stopping someone from doing something. It prohibits a parent from doing something. So for example, sabihin natin gusto niyang iuwi yung bata. No? Nandito yung application mo, dito ka na nga nakatira, hindi ka basta-basta makauwi nga sa atin for whatever reason and you don't want to either. Gusto ng nanay ng asawa mo na iuwi nga yung bata doon na nga siya titira. Then you may wish to make an application for a prohibited steps order. By that, I mean an order stopping the mom from taking the child to, say, to the Philippines, to live in the Philippines. So that's a prohibited steps order. Now, there's also something called parental responsibility order. This you already have. Kasal nga kayo, and I'm assuming you're on his birth certificate. But if you are unmarried or you're not on the birth certificate nga, then it could be that you need to make an application for a parental responsibility order, unless you can agree with your ex nga to have a parental responsibility agreement, which is then noted with the court nga. But you don't have to worry about that. Then nga, you're married and you're very likely to be on the birth certificate. So you already have parental responsibility. Ibig sabihin, kung may mangyari nga sa bata, kailangan hospital nga, authority from the parent, you have parental responsibility. So you have if you like, the right, or the hospital should ask you, for your authority, permission, input nga as to what when undertaking, say, medical procedures nga about that. So that's parental responsibility, which you already have. Of those, the court can make other orders nga, but of those, you would probably make an application for a child arrangements order. So ibig sabihin sa nga titirang bata, it could be that you want the child to live with you. I mean, he's already 4. It could be that you're a better place also. Maybe your job allows you also to do that, potentially nga. So a child arrangement order means that saan nga siya titira, and also contact with you. Now, what sometimes happens nga is, so for example, one case I have nga at the moment. So I'm acting for the father. The mom is refusing any contact between my client, the father, and the child. So we've had to make an application for child arrangement order nga for contact. So makikita nga niya yung bata. Now, in this case also, there's an immigration aspect. Very much like you, the relationship broke down, and he has a spouse visa nga. So if we get this order, the child arrangement order, that my client sees the child, then that is proof that you are involved in the child's life. Yun ang kailangan mong padala nga sa home office as proof of the fact that you are involved in the child's life. Okay? Um, and that way, you can then potentially be granted a visa under the parent route. Now, sabihin natin nangyari yun, no? Okay? This just shows you, this is good service, huh? Okay? So, let's sabihin natin, let me take it one step further. Sabihin natin, spouse visa ka, pinalitan mo, you then became, you then have a visa under the parent route. Can you then apply at that stage for indefinite leave to remain? No? Because of course you've done over 5 years. The answer is no. You cannot put together for the 5 years, no, a spouse visa and the parent route. But you can put it together in relation to the 10 years. So pagka ang tao nandito na o 10 years, no, or indeed over, dire-diretsong visa. So when I'm not talking about kung naging overstayer kayo o TNT nga kayo dito, tapos no, you got a visa and then you've done 10 years living in the UK. Hindi po yun ibig sabihin. Ibig sabihin, 10 years tuloy-tuloy ang status nyo. No? And it doesn't matter kung nagpasok yung application, tapos mabagal nga yung home office, they didn't deal with it quickly, and your application was sitting in the home office, pero pinagpasok kayo ng application in time. So bago natapos nga ang visa nyo. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung 10 years. So, sabihin natin spouse visa ka. Sabi mo sa akin, 6 years ka na dito, no? On a spouse visa. Bigyan ka ng visa uli, iba nga, no? Under the parental route. That would be for 2.5 years. That then takes you to 8.5 years in the United Kingdom. Under the parent route, no? Once you have completed 5 years under that route, then you can actually make an application also for indefinite leave to remain. Let's say that actually spouse visa ka 6 years, no? You obtain an order, parent route nga, 2.5 years. For whatever reason, you decided or you then swap that parental route to something else that still allows you nga to stay in the United Kingdom, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Let's say as a skilled worker, no? Tatrabaho ka nga dito. Pagka 10 taong ka na dito, no, pwede mong pagdugtungin yung mga status mo. But for that, you're looking at 10 years. So the 5 years won't work under spouse visa and parent route, but the 10 years would. So ibig pong sabihin, kahit nga hindi ka makakuha indefinite na nga ngayon, pwede ka pa rin tumira nga dito on this basis. Now, tips. Importante po ito. Do not allow your visa to expire. No? So, make the application before your visa expires. Sabi mo sa akin, no? My visa is set to expire soon. Make the application under the parent route before your visa expires. Okay? Because as soon as it expires, then different law applies. Because then, strictly speaking, you're an overstayer. So, gawin mo yun. So, in this case, you should really seek advice and do so pretty quickly. No? And hopefully nga, you'll be able to swap your visa to that of a spouse, to that of a parent from a spouse. And then on top of that, you then, of course, make an application under family law for a child arrangement order, either for your child to live with you, maybe you want that, okay? Or for contact. That is, you see your child maybe every weekend. I mean, he's already 4, so maybe every weekend on a Friday you pick him up or from school, and then maybe overnight o kaya pagka Sabado, no, to go out to the park. It's the weather's quite good na nga ngayon. So all those things are possibilities, no? And in this case, and this is why I like a lot this question nga, no? It's putting together, no, the immigration and also family law. And those areas of law, as I've said, often go hand in hand. And in this case, it may be na kailangan mo yung order in order to prove to the Home Office that actually you should be granted a visa under the parent route. Now, good luck with that. I know it's immigration can be family certainly anyway, but immigration certainly can be incredibly stressful because it's not just your liberty that's at stake. Oftentimes nga is also your family life, no? Na kung papabalik, kung kailangan mong bumalik o papabalikin ka nga sa atin, paano pa kayo magkikita, no? And especially kung relasyon mo sa asawa mo, sa ex mo nga masama na nga. It could be that if you leave the country, that it may mean actually you don't see your child anymore. And that would, I'm sure, be devastating. No? So, but in this case, there are avenues, there are options. So, ang payo ko, you should seek advice. Because there are too many things here that could go wrong. And yung abogado nyo should be able to say, oh, okay, this is the order also, no, of steps. You should, of course, give equal priority to your immigration. Dahil kung if you become an overstay o pabalikin ka, then even if you make an application under family law and you get it, how are you going to exercise it? How are you going to enforce that order? Kung wala kang dito sa bansa. So so thank you very much for that great question. No? And for those of you who want to know a little bit more, marriage breakdown, not necessarily to do with children, look at the one our show last week, because that's to do now with marriage breakdown. And I posted, as I say, an article that I wrote to do with options available if you are here, you have immigration issue, and you have a marriage breakdown now. No? And there I also, in that article, I also dealt with the issue of children. So check it out. Check it out. Feel free to have a look. Feel free to download it. I'm more than happy and share it. I say again, sharing is caring. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did, and it's great to be able to discuss relevant questions, and hopefully that's helpful. Now comes my favorite part of our show. I know, I like the whole thing. I do. Alam niyo naman, I like discussing issues. I'm told that's because I like talking too much, and I actually do. But this is my absolute favorite part of our show, which is yung batian natin, yung mga kaibigan natin, kababayan, kaibigan na bumabati sa akin. So if you're watching and you're kind of saying to yourself, oh, nahihiya ako, don't be shy. Say hello, okay? Hopefully, I do have some, I'd be sad if no one said hello. Someone has said hello. Outcast. Magandang gabi po, sabi niya. Attorney Lira, kamusta po? Kamusta ka? I hope you enjoyed that. It's kind of legal issues can be, especially something like this with family law, and a big part of it is immigration. It can be quite a sad, sad issue to be discussing, but at the same time, importante, you can't let sadness in this case stop you from doing taking steps, to ensure that it doesn't even become sadder. Rodora Manangkil, good evening po, Attorney Lira, blessed day po, watching from Cyprus. Hello, madam, watching from Cyprus. Kamusta ka? I hope the weather's better there than here. Mainit last week, mainit, First time, I didn't bring my coat last week. Ngayon, coats are out again. Gagawa natin. Miss Paner, Mariam Galicia Paner, Madam, hello po, Attorney Lira, sabi niya, at sa lahat, happy Thursday po. Happy watching all viewers. Magandang gabi po. Magandang gabi, Madam. How are you? I hope you're inside. I mean, alam ko, it's alas 8 na nga ngayon. It's I don't know. Have you had dinner? Someone gave me today some one of my clients are lovely. Now, someone gave me a cake today. I won't name names, but cassava cake nga. Salamat po. Merienda ko kanina. Natalia de Guzman. Can't believe you're 4 decades in service. Oh, you look 25 years old. I love you, Mr. Guzman. Stunning, sabi niya, Philippines now, watching from, talaga? from Nueva Ecija. Oh, wonderful. I have a friend actually who flew back kahapon lang. So she probably arrived just today. How's the weather there? I've been to Nueva Ecija, and I remember that it was beautiful. No, I hope you're having a good time. And sabi ko nga dun sa kaibigan ko, she was texting me as she was about to board the plane. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, look, kung uuwi kayo, especially sa atin, no, ang layo nga. Enjoy. Enjoy every bit. But that does not mean you should not tune in, ah. Salamat, Mr. Guzman. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. And have a great time. Have a great holiday. Oh, Angelita Garcia. Good evening, my dear Sam. Di man tayo nakikitang madalas. Oh, but I won't forget your kindness. You're always nakafocus ako sa live mo. Thank you sa mga info. Ange and I go back a ways. Ange, I have known for probably as long, nearly, not quite, but nearly as long as I'm being qualified. So pareho na kaming matanda. Yeah, I've been doing this so long na, no? Nearly 40 years in law, but certainly over 3 decades, 33 years nga, practicing. Oh, Egay, the guy from London. Egay, the great guy from London. Now, warm Thursday to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. Tama ka. Habemos Papa. We do have a Pope. We have a Pope, no? Working Canary Wharf today and taking care of Justin. He's such a committed dad, no? Still good news, Attorney. I'm still tap send ambassador. It's a money remittance to Pinas, no? A bonus of £15 for first-time user. Looking forward to lots of learning again and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Guy, the great guy. He is a great guy, talaga. And yeah, absolutely. We have a new Pope, no? I understand that he hails from the U.S. And hopefully will be a good Pope, no? I think in the running also is our Cardinal Tagle from the Philippines. I hope that in my lifetime we will have a Pope from the Philippines. But no, there you go. Yeah, we have a Pope. Ma'am Cora. Oh, Ma'am Cora Carstola, she's lovely. Magandang gabi, pretty attorney. At sa lahat, yes, nakakatulong talagang topics nyo to discuss all the time. Million thanks. Salamat, Ma'am Cora. Ma'am Cora is lovely. No? Oh, yes, our beloved attorney. Sharing is caring. Tama ka, no? Sharing is caring. And I actually, what makes me so pleases me, no, and makes me happy is when someone, I have clients sometimes, nanonood sila, and they say, oh yeah, meron kong kamag-anak nga sa Pilipinas, so I shared the link, and it was helpful. So do that, no, talaga. Sharing is caring, and look, it's free, no. So you should do it. Sharing. Oh, Miss Rafael. Emmeline Rafael. Good evening, Attorney Lira, and happy Thursday, everyone. And she's feeling good because she's all in caps. Miss Rafael is great. She hails from Wimbledon. Yeah. Oh, still watching from Philippines. Wow. Lots of people in the Philippines at the moment. Umuwi, no? Yes, still watching from the Philippines. How are you, Miss Rafael? Are you having a good time? I hope so. No? Sabi ng kaibigan ko, mainit daw sa Pilipinas nga ngayon. So I hope you're okay, no? And ingat kayo. I mean, I'm sure, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yung nga lang, mainit daw, no? She's complaining already. Okay lang po, sabi Miss Paner, no? Mariam Galicia Paner. Okay lang po, salamat po, sabi niya. Oh, Miss Paner. She and I, and a lot of you, no, especially we've been together a while now, over 5 years, because I remember in 2000 starting it at about this time, no, I think it was April na, starting our broadcasting, because it was confusing about COVID, about rules about going back home, what happens when you come back to the United Kingdom. It was really, really confusing, and also the rules kept changing. No? all the time. So that's what we started it. So yeah, we've been doing this a while. No? Oh, Mr. Fel, I'm fine. Kaya lang sobrang init ngayon dito. Yung nga ang balita, no? Ingat ka, no, Mr. Fel, dahil it's, heat can be dangerous, especially our heat in the Philippines, because it's not just dito. When it's summer, of course, it can get quite hot, but not Philippines hot. And that's why I always say to my staff nga, no, sa opisina nga, when they're complaining about the heat, I say, no, this is not hot. Philippine hot, that's hot. Oh, sabi ni Natalia de Guzman, not advisable to go home this season. Hot. Pero now umuulan sa gabi. That's why it's prone to sickness. Yeah, merong kliyente, sabi nga niya, she went home this last year nga. She went home about this time. Nagkasakit siya because it was just so hot that she has underlying issues, no? But nagkasakit nga siya. She thinks because it was triggered nga by the temperature nga sa atin. So ingat kayo, no? Ingat kayo. But look, it's the great thing sa atin is it's a beautiful country. You know? Philippines is a beautiful country. Okay, you know, you need a fan o kaya better an aircon nga, but it's probably I certainly would I would love to go and see. Mainit nga lang, but hey, it's worth it, di ba? Worth it. When was the last time you visited Philippines? Oh, that is a question. Too long ago, madam. Too long ago. I'm actually due for a visit, and I'm hoping to do that soon. And I will keep you all informed. What I'd like to be able very much to do is, pagka umuwi ako, and hopefully that will happen soon, to be able to broadcast, no? From the Philippines. That would be great, no? I will be broadcasting live from the Philippines. And you never know, Miss Rafael may still be there. Oh, ma-tiyempo ko siya uli. So I will be saying, and here, I have a special guest, no? Emmeline Rafael. Yeah. That would be nice. But I'll let you know. I'm hoping that, no? Anyway, sorry, I digress. I enjoyed that, no? So, well, if you have any comments nga, you want to say hello, it's not too late. Do say hello. But I must not forget, of course, the other questions. Equally interesting, huh? So let's have a look at our other questions, guys. So now I'm a 37-year-old Filipino friend who came to the UK on a spouse visa after marrying her British husband 2 years ago. The relationship has recently broken down, and her husband has threatened to cancel her visa if she leaves him. Lisa is emotionally distressed but wants to know her rights, especially since she has started building a life in the UK and doesn't want to return to the Philippines under pressure. She's also unsure if she can stay legally if they proceed with a divorce. Answering this question is such a big help for her, no? Now, I like this question nga. At saka, speaking of sharing is caring, if you refer your friend, no, Lisa, to my also, not just nga ngayon, but also last week's show, okay, because that also deals with dealt with this type of scenario nga. And I also posted on Facebook an article that I wrote to do nga with what happens where there are immigration issues and there's a breakdown of marriage. So share those, but let me deal with your question nga. So I assume walang mga bata, because you didn't say. I'm sure you would have said. And I assume also that she's on her first lot of the spouse visa, because normally you would have 2.5 years, tapos kailangan 2.5 years ulit before you can make an application nga for indefinite leave to remain. So she's here on the first probation time, no, the 2.5 years una. Now, let's just go back nga a little bit, no? So Lisa siguro dumating siya dito, spouse visa nga siya, or maybe she entered the UK as a fiance, but certainly she's a spouse now. So pinakita niya, amongst other things, that the relationship is genuine. Husband's earning the minimum wage, which in the past was 18,600 pounds, but now it's 29,000 pounds. That there's accommodation. She's done the English language, which is just an A1 level test, so it's quite a bit lower than the B1 nga. She did the TB certificate, no TB, and then she entered the United Kingdom. And she's here on the spouse visa, the first lot of the 2.5 years nga. May nangyari sa, well, at least they're not getting on. The relationship has broken down. She's quite distressed. She doesn't want to be with him anymore. Tinatakot siya. Unang-una, yung ugali nga nung asawa niya, is it so bad that it's, or does it amount to domestic violence? Hindi ibig sabihin na ginugulpi ka. Domestic violence is not limited to physical harm being caused to you, no, direct physical harm being caused to you. It can also mean coercive behavior, no. So telling is, yung sabi mo nga dito, tinatakot nga siya if she leaves him. Is there something more than that, no? So is he not giving? Is he stopping her from working, for example? Doesn't want her to go out, no? Doesn't want her to have friends. Gets quite annoyed or upset, and abuses her if she's in touch with any family, no? So that all can amount to coercive behavior. Kung yun, then a possible route would be under the DV route, the domestic violence route. Kung makuha niya yun, and it's quite a complex application, no? And you need strong evidence that the Home Office will accept as evidence of domestic violence, including coercive behavior. And if you get that, if she gets that, if Lisa gets that, and magbibigay sa kanya indefinite leave to remain, so settlement status. So she should consider that, and if she's unsure, she should absolutely see a solicitor. Okay. Now, because the spouse visa nga siya, she can swap that visa also to the skilled worker route. Not all visas in the United Kingdom can be simply swapped over to a skilled worker, which is the one that allows you not to work, but the spouse visa can be. Yun. Okay? So, kung meron siyang, sabihin natin, qualified nurse siya, o qualified carer nga siya. So she has experience as a carer, or then kailangan niyang trabaho, pero hindi nga lang basta-basta, no? Yung pagtatrabahuhan niya, yung sponsor niya should have a license, no, to take on foreign employees, no, and issue them with a cost certificate of sponsorship. Okay, so that's a possibility also. Now, in some cases, you can also make an application, say, on human rights grounds, but that has to be, it's very hard to succeed on human rights grounds. You need to be able to show more than simply, she's built a life in the UK, she doesn't want to go back, or she doesn't want to be pressured into going back. That on its own is unlikely to succeed on a private life claim on human rights, which is Article 8 nga. Okay, so there are options, but not many. Ang payo ko, sabi mo kay Lisa, seek advice. Now, if you're worried about costs, some solicitors, like we do in our office nga, we offer fixed fee advice, and you can then at least be pointed in the right direction. So yun. Sorry about Lisa's problems. Hopefully it gets better. Now, and I'm sure mayroon pa tayong mga questions. Sandali nga lang. Let me have a look. So, okay. Ganito kay Egay. Attorney Lira, question lang, but not the topic, related kay Pope. May UK tourist visa naman from Philippines, pero gustong pumunta sa Vatican, Rome. Pwede po ba dito sa UK mag-apply ng Schengen visa sa Italian Embassy? Yes. Yeah, you can. But you will, or sa Pilipinas lang dapat mag-apply ng Schengen. No, you can make an application from the United Kingdom. But you'll find, you can make an application. So if pwede, where pwedeng mag-apply? Oh, well, I mean, it will have to be up to the Italian, no? Actually, no, it's Vatican, no? Yeah, the Vatican. So yeah, no Schengen tap. So if they're going to be visiting, other Schengen countries nga, they need to make an application to the place either where they're gonna go first or where they're substantially gonna go, no? So yung kaibigan mo, if they're looking to say go to Germany, for example, I've found certainly that the German embassy in relation to Schengen are quite they're quite organized. Well, they seem to be faster with dealing with applications. So if they're going to Germany anyway, substantially, spending time nga there, and then en route goes to Vatican nga, or even France, or places nga like that, then apply first, to the German embassy, get Schengen there, and then visit the other Schengen countries. Hope they have a good time. Hey, guy. Sasama ka? Pwede ba akong sumama? Now, okay. So, another question nga natin. Good morning, kabayan. Sabi niya, may tanong lang po sana ako. Sa August na po, ma-expire ang spouse visa ko. Plan ng asawa ko, mag-mortgage maybe this month. Okay? Kasi po, ang bahay namin, nirerentahan namin ngayon is nagtataas ng renta. Additionally, hindi po naaayos ng landlord ang sira ng bahay. My question po is this, hindi po ba magkakaproblema pag mag-a-apply na ako ng FLRM? Okay? Kasi nga, kailangan ko pong mag-submit ng 6 different letters sa address kung saan ako nakatira. Let's unpack that a bit. So una nga, spouse visa siya, matatapos na nga, no? So sila, tsaka yung asawa niya, sabi niya, bakit why are we continuing to rent? Bili na nga lang tayo ng bahay, mag-mortgage tayo, no? So, ang question niya, kung bibili sila ng bahay, di ibig sabihin, lilipat siya. Magkakaproblema ba yung application niya? And I like this question. Dahil ito I like busting, chismis or myths. And this is one. So, it is rumored, and it's wrong, na pagka nandito ka, especially ang spouse visa nga, kailangan you stay put in one place for that length of time. Hindi po yun tama. Okay? So I've had people actually, clients have said to me, hindi ka pwedeng lumipat dahil I need to be staying here for 2.5 years. Or sometimes nga, I had one client say, I need to be staying here for 5 years. No? Hindi po yun tama. You can move, but you need to explain it. So tama ka, you need to be able to provide nga evidence of your residency, your continued residence in the UK, and more importantly, your continued relationship. Hence the 6 different letters, no? Pero kung meron kayong bank account together, and sabihin natin council tax nga dito sa tinitirahan nyo, and then later on when you have mortgage, or if you have a mortgage offer and a mortgage in joint names, okay? O yung trabaho mo, yung kontrata mo, nandun address nga, yung kontrata ng asawa mo nandoon, pareho din ng doktor nyo, all that should be enough to show the Home Office you are indeed in continuous relationship with your husband. That's really what that means. So kung lilipat ka, bibili kayo ng bahay, go for it. Just explain it. No? Importante po yung explain it. Now, I'm sure we have some additional question nga. So let me just see. Thanks, Attorney Lira. Galing kay Ega ito, ha. Let's go to Rome and eat seafood pasta. That's great news na pwede ma-apply dito. Yeah, I tell you what, I love pasta, right? Like you, Ega, I love pasta. And it's still different, in Italy. Maybe it's also the ambience. Now this now let me just have a look. This is another question. So sabi niya dito, I've been living here in the UK for over 3 years under skilled worker visa. Paano po mag-apply for indefinite leave to remain soon? Okay, by soon is 2 more years, because 5 years under skilled worker route. Pero ngayon, nalaman ko po, yung 19-year-old son ko na nasa Pilipinas, baka hindi na pwedeng maging dependent ko dahil sa immigration rules. Nag-aaral pa siya, pero nag-aalala po ako na baka hindi na siya qualified dahil sa age niya, o sa financial dependency criteria. Ano pong options para madala ko siya dito sa UK? Pwede po ba siyang isama bilang dependent? O ibang paraan para makapunta siya dito na hindi maapektuhan ang application ko for ILR, for indefinite leave to remain? Now, yung ILR, yung indefinite leave to remain, you get that, you can make an application after 5 years. So you're not, okay, 3 years ka na, over 3 years ka na, but you're looking at nearly 2 years pa, no? And then you can make an application. Kung magpasok ka ng application for your son either now o pagka-indefinite ka na, unfortunately, the deadline is 18, not 19. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, he's now considered an adult. It doesn't matter na ikaw pa rin naasahan. He's considered an adult. So, consequently, he's no longer, you can't include him as your dependent nga. Now, you can make an application under what's called the adult dependent route, but that's really, really hard to establish. And to be frank, kung 19 siya, wala naman siyang sakit, she's studying in the Philippines nga, there's no way that you're going to succeed under the adult dependent route. Okay? I can't see that happening. Now, okay, 19 na nga siya, ewan ko nung pinag-aaralan niya, maybe you want to consider a student visa nga dito, mahal nga lang ang tuition fee, o kung ang pinag-aaralan nga niya is something that allows him to enter the United Kingdom, either say as a carer or as a nurse or teacher under the skilled worker route, that may be also a possibility. But unfortunately, as I say, it is it's not an easy situation. 18 po ang deadline. So once you hit 18, you're no longer considered to be a dependent for the sake in the sense of immigration coming into the UK. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Now, ewan ko may pang nangangusta sa atin. So let's have a look. Let me check. Mr. May Tigbao Vargas. Good evening, Attorney Lira. And everybody, good evening po. Kamusta ka, madam? Actually, I don't think you've said hello to me for a couple of weeks, May? Nagtatampo ko sa'yo, ha? Now, okay, since tingnan natin, I think that may be all for the moment, no? Now, just to say po, salamat uli, no, for joining me. Time goes so fast, no? We have 1 hour lang, no? And we have to pack it all in. But thank you very much again, no, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you also for the Facebook groups that allow us to post our contents nga on their page. And remember, no, kung meron kayong mga questions, email it to us by next Wednesday nga, and I'll try and deal with them. And you never know, no, you may get some serious bragging rights by becoming the star question nga. And I hope, as you know, no, kung star question nga kayo, we're going to deal with your question in quite a lot more detail nga, no? And it's free. Sharing is caring. Share this, okay? So I hope that you get a chance to do so. And as I say, kung meron kayong mga questions, meron kayong comments, email me. And check out our Facebook nga, no? Because there I try and update, whenever I write articles, I try and upload it there. Of course, it's also on our website nga. So Douglas Simon, if you want to check out our website, Douglas Simon Solicitors, just Google it. You will see us, no? We're the ones in London, in Richmond nga. Now, other than that, no, thank you very much again for keeping me company. It's always a pleasure. Yeah. And hopefully next Thursday, hopefully when we're together, I'll be saying to you, oh, napakainit. To all our friends nga na nasa Pilipinas, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Ingat nga kayo, no? And I hope that you'll tune in again, no? Next week, even though madaling araw sa atin nga ngayon. But yeah, thank you very much again for joining me. Until next time, same place at Lira and Law. Good night.